Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to your daily dose of the Steam Holiday Sale. It is December 27th, and we're going to look at what games are on sale today and what's worth buying. First up is Terraria, which is definitely a must-buy for today. I think, I would say so. It is extremely cheap and extremely good. It is basically like a 2D pixel art version of Minecraft, but with actually arguably more depth. You can craft things, you can build things. It is multiplayer. It's super fun and very inexpensive, and it's really addictive actually. Very good game to play. I'd recommend it to almost anyone. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Actually, it also includes the Jedi Knight series. Yes. These games are all super duper awesome. You should note for Knights of the Old Republic, there are some issues running it on like maybe Windows 7 or 64-bit systems or something like that. You want to do some Googling first. It may not run properly for you. But if it does, it is considered one of the great games of our time. It's a role-playing game. It's an RPG, and the combat is more turn-based than you might expect, as opposed to real-time, but it's considered very good. Also, if you're playing in the new MMO, The Old Republic, a lot of what happens there is, how should I put this? The Knights of the Old Republic, this game takes place just before the MMO, so a lot of the story elements will be the same. Some of the characters make appearances, that sort of thing. Star Wars Battlefront is awesome, first-person shootery, team-based combat, like, you know, it's like, I don't know, Team Fortress, but with Jedis and Stormtroopers. Empire at War is an RTS. I have played it. I wasn't hugely impressed by it, but that doesn't mean it's actually bad. And what's really interesting about it is there's both a ground-based RTS and also space-based RTS. So some things, you know, some things involve taking control of the space around a planet, and then you'll go down to the planet and actually do some fighting on the ground. If you control the air, then you get bonuses and yada yada yada. I'm going to skip right down to the Star Wars Jedi Knight Collection, which remains, in my opinion, some of the best games ever. It is... So originally there was a Dark Forces, which was a shooter type game. And then you have Dark Forces 2, but the thing is, it's Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. The Jedi Knight part was just so much more important than the Dark Forces part that you just sort of ignored Dark Forces, and it's actually a really good, like, lightsaber Jedi combat, force powers, light side, dark side, really good game. This was the sequel for it, which was, or the expansion to Jedi Knight, which is not quite as purely good as the actual Jedi Knight, but it's not bad. And then later on, the actual sequel, Jedi Knight 2, with a much better graphics engine. But the thing I like about Jedi Knight was the levels were just... There was such a sense of verticality in them. These incredible skyscrapers and deep chasms. And this came out in a time when first-person shooters were mostly flat. They're like 2.5D basically. There wasn't a lot of depth to the levels, and these were really good games that way. Now, of course, they are quite dated at this point. They didn't come out in September of 2009. This is just when it hit Steam. This is a much older game than that, but I do recommend them considerably. And then Jedi Academy is in the same vein, but adds a little bit more variety and customization in your character. You can choose whether you're going two lightsaber style, the double-ended lightsaber, you know, little things like that. Anyway, great games. Definitely recommend those. Disciples is a turn-based strategy game that was not particularly well received, although it does look absolutely beautiful. I suspect this is probably the game that may not appeal to the masses, but to some people who like a certain type of strategy game may find enjoyment out of this, but I'm not going to put it on the recommendation list, unfortunately. Next up, Call of Duty Black Ops, which is still going to cost you $30 and may be awesome, may not be awesome. It seems a little strange that, you know, you might want to go in this direction when I think some of the more modern shooters have come on sale. But one thing I'm curious about, and this is probably a dumb question, but how good is the single-player campaign? Because to me, that's what I would play. Obviously, it's got great graphics and probably great fidelity to reality, but I don't know. Someone in the comments might want to leave some commentary about this, but to me, it's not something I'm going to recommend because of the price and because I'm not sure that it fits in the right place for something that you're going to want to buy. It's not recent enough, so the multiplayer's not going to be quite as lively, but it's not old enough to be cheap. Stronghold 3 came out just a couple of months ago, and I've actually been waiting for it to come on sale, but I may not buy it simply because I have too many games to play right now. I love the Stronghold series. Absolutely adore. And in fact, I'm curious, are the other Stronghold games on here? Stronghold. Oh, the Stronghold Collection. See, there you go. In fact, you might be better off just buying these. So this is Stronghold, Stronghold 2, Stronghold Crusader, Crusader Extreme, Stronghold Legends. These games are awesome. You build castles is the favorite part. Like, they're showing you the battle scenes in here, but the gameplay is actually about building a castle and building up your little towns. Really, I love those games. Right back from the original Castles game from Sierra. They're some of my favorites. So this is Stronghold 3, so you're going to get better graphics and better whatever. And you can attack, you can run the siege, you can do all these things. But I love the castle building aspect of it. And I know these games are great. I'm not sure. Wow. That's very poor. Wow. Really? Oh, now I'm unhappy. I'm going to have to read the reviews. Maybe is it buggy? Will there be patches that come out? Or does the gameplay just suck? And I mean, I think it's always been a little bit more of a niche product, but oh god. While I'm certainly not going to recommend Stronghold 3, at the very least it's going to probably be cheaper sometime in the future. But do check out the older Stronghold games. They're a lot of fun. Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War. These are RTS games, and they are distinct from, say, StarCraft in that they don't tend to be economy-based RTS games. They tend to be just a little bit more about the tactics of it. These are developed or produced or whatever, I think, by Relic, unless I'm mistaken. Good scores. Which means they're going to be similar to like the, what am I thinking, like the Company of Heroes type mechanics. Anyway, these games are always pretty well, they've been well received. They're considered to be pretty decent, and they're not entirely my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean they're bad. And yeah, Dawn of War 2 Retribution just came out this year, and you can get this pack for a pretty good deal. Now, this is not, I don't believe this is an expansion. I think this is a standalone expansion. So you could just buy this if you wanted to. Although if you enjoy the genre, then you can save money buying one of the bundles. Fear. So Fear is not quite as scary as Amnesia, but it's in the same ballpark. I think one of the reasons it's not quite as scary is because at least you have guns and you can defend yourself. Well, you can't defend yourself against Alma, who is this freaky little girl. And little girls are scary. Seriously, they are terrifying. First Fear game, $5. It has been out for a little while, so the graphics at this point might be a little on the dated side, but really not that much. There's some really decent AI in the enemies. Multiplayer component of Fear not available. I've never played the multiplayer. Yeah, see, look at that, 88 Metascore. It's very decent, and there's a couple of expansion packs as well. Extraction Point and Perseus Mandate, which and it's funny, it's NA. I think it's just included in the base version, which is kind of decent. So $5 gets you the base game and 2 expansion packs, which are like sort of full-length games on their own. Probably not as good as the base game, but I did play them both and they were okay. I also played through Fear 2, I believe, which is also good, and Fear 3 came out this year. I have not played it yet. Oh god, that is creepy. Look at that creepy ass little girl. It does have like a sort of a corporate, I don't know, malfeasance type of thing that reminds me a little bit about like Portal, because you know, this whole Fear project is this, you know, Black Ops type of thing to like raise a psychic creepy little girl who does horrible things and like destroys a city. And so it's got a very good storyline, very good vibe that way, and a little scary, but not paralyzingly scary. Solar 2 is up next, and I was looking at the videos of this, and I kind of almost felt like I've played this, or maybe I played Solar 1. It's a fun little indie casual game where you're basically controlling a planet or a sun or something like that, and you're going around and you're collecting little like objects to turn into moons or planets if you're a sun. Like they orbit around you and you get more and more powerful, and you do different things with gravity, and It's actually a very nice little game. It's not very expensive, $2.49. You can get it as part of the Super Indie Bundle, which has some great games in it. It's a nice little game. That's all I'm going to say about it. Next up is Gothic. So the whole Gothic franchise is on sale. This is an RPG that was not extremely well received in general, but some people like it quite a bit. So if you want more RPG to your holidays, Gothic is the way to go. Art for today, okay. Sequence. So I hadn't heard about Sequence before, and here's what I'm going to say about this game. No matter what you can say about the game, the videos here are amazing. Watch these two videos. These are some of the greatest, most quirky and interesting little teaser videos for a game I've ever seen. It's kind of funny. Apparently it's a blend of RPG and rhythm games, and the reviews for it are pretty decent. It's only $1.24. I'm tempted to buy it and check it out, actually. Fully voice acted, 10 hours of story. How often do you see that in an indie game? And it's just a rhythm game, so it's fun and easy to play, sure. Cities in Motion is on sale, and if you check my channel, you can see that I have done a What Is for Cities in Motion. I'm not going to say that it's a great game, but it's a very good game, especially if you like city building type stuff. Now, in this game, you don't build the city. The cities exist. You are simply building the transportation grid. You're creating the bus system, the tram system, the subway system, planes. There's also ferries. And it is a very nice looking game. And it's surprisingly addictive. Like, when I load this up, I lose hours and hours of my time to this game, just building the transportation networks. It's only a 70 Metascore, but in this particular instance, I'm going to say that this Metascore is representative of the fact that it's more of a niche game, and so if you're the right audience for this kind of thing, you're actually going to enjoy it quite a bit. I really like it, and there's a Steam achievement for this today. Well, there's a variety of Steam achievements, but there's one for the draw. Prince of Persia, the whole franchise, is on sale. Now, I loved the original Prince of Persia, which won't be in this list. I'm talking about the old school one that was out in, like, I want to say the late 80s. I'm not entirely sure. So all these 3D ones are like way too new for me. I'm like, what is this stuff? What are these polygons? I don't understand. But they're pretty good. Now keep in mind, these are mostly console ports. So how the controls work on the PC, I'm not entirely sure. But they are beautiful games with great little storylines. Nice. They're mostly puzzle games with the occasional action segments is basically the way they're going to feel. And yeah, the whole franchise is on sale for not a whole lot of money. What is the Digital Deluxe Edition? What does this give you? Exclusive skins, survival mode map, and an extra copy of Sands of Time. Oh, okay. So you kind of get two games in one for this, and of course you can just buy them individually for exactly the same amount of money. So unless you want the skins and stuff, it doesn't matter. I guess you could go this. Get this. Don't buy Sands of Time if you're getting the Digital Deluxe Edition. There you have it. And that brings us to the end of the sale for today. I really feel like Terraria, it's so cheap and it's so well received as a must-buy. Some of these Star Wars games may also be a must-buy. Other than that, Fear I do recommend. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, I guess those are it. And do take a look at Sequence. It's so cheap you might like it. And if you're the right person for Cities in Motion, then it's going to be a no-brainer to pick that up for $5. Anyway, that is it. We'll see you tomorrow.